welcome back for our last session of the day. We're going to welcome Chelsea Finnie with Lowering the Gangplank, How Writing Songs Relate to Templating. So Chelsea Finnie is here from New Zealand. She's a networks DevOps internet at Rianne's and is the newly appointed president of Python New Zealand and was very involved with our sister conference of PyCon NZ.
Kiwi PyCon.
Kiwi PyCon.
Yeah.
Thank you. And without further ado, I will let her regale us with how to write something.
Tēnā koutou katoa, kua hui hui mai I tēnei rangi. E mihi ana, e mihi ana, e mihi ana. E mihi ana ki ngā mana whenua. E mihi ana ki te tangata whenua. No kōtarani airana me ingiriki ōku tipuna. No waikanai ahau a hakoa I te whānau mai au I ōtipoti. E noha ana au ki waikanai, ko Alison tōku whaia, ko Matthew tōku tūnānei, ko Elizabeth tōku tuakana, ko Sarah tōku teina. Ko Rora taku neru, ko Pipi tā sera neru. Noho ana a Aurora raua ko Pipi ki te kāinga o tōku whaia. Ki te miti miti a Aurora I te tāringa o Pipi I tēnei whikitia. Ko Chelsea tōku ingoa. He kaiwhanake punaha a Iparangi o ki Rianne's, he periatana a Python New Zealand ahau. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Hi, I'm Chelsea. Thank you for coming along. I'm sure many of you are probably feeling a little bit tired, maybe have your heads full from all the awesome talks we've had. I know mine is. Woo. So anyway, what am I? Well, if you didn't pick up from my mihi, I'm a networks DevOps engineer at Rianne's, basically doing a whole bunch of work around automating things, particularly in the network space. Rianne's is a research and education network for New Zealand, basically an ISP for universities, polytechs, Crown Research Institutes. I've also been recently appointed as the president of Python New Zealand. Thanks, Tom, maybe. Python New Zealand is a charitable society that supports and promotes the use of Python in New Zealand, and also is involved with Kiwi PyCon. I would describe myself as a technical Swiss Army knife, being an expert generalist in many technical things, plus a bunch of other stuff. I have a broad understanding of things that I utilize to solve problems, and can easily see the similarities between different tools, systems, and concepts. As a person with ADHD, I have a wide range of interests and have a habit of making collecting hobbies a hobby. And I'm on many things. I'm a folk song enthusiast. A couple Thursdays a month, I sing at the Welsh Dragon in Wellington with the Pornicky Shanty Club. We also do some nerd sessions in between for the really serious folk like myself. Here's my social handle stuff. I'll put that at the end as well. So, what's this talk about? What is my purpose here today? Well, for the folks who didn't see my I Love Templating and You Should Too talk at Kiwi PyCon, I'll first do a recap of what templating is, plus a bunch of opinions. Off-topic side note, running a conference and doing a brand new talk at the same time is a lot of effort. Don't recommend it. Thankfully, that's not the case for this one. Anyways, I'm going to take you on a songwriting journey, which will involve one of my favorite things, audience participation. I'm probably going to challenge your brain a bit, since on the surface it seems a bit of a stretch to link templating with songwriting. And ideally, we'll grow our understanding of templating and more. I'm getting something out of this as well, because I really have to solidify my thoughts around these concepts and how they're linked. And hopefully this will be entertaining. That's my real goal here. If not, well, there's lightning talks after afternoon tea. So this is a Python conference. what does this have to do with Python? Well, the main thing is templating is something that exists in many languages. So the core concepts are going to be the same. I will admit, this talk is fairly Python light, but I promise you there will be something valuable here. If you need your Python fix, some key technical takeaway, I'll point you towards the Ginger library. Go check it out, have some fun. FYI, I'm not associated with the project, I just think it's neat. There will, however, be a Python surprise in this talk, so please bear with me. So what is templating? Well, for me, templating is the art of making and using templates in order to create less work for yourself and or others, eventually. It can be a bit of an investment, but it can also pay itself off over time. So what is a template? Well, templates come in many forms, but I like to think of them in the context of text files or even a document. Let's imagine here a text file with the information in it put there manually. Say there are certain bits in the file that we want to replace with some data. We can make it a template and add some markers to specify where that data goes, which will allow us to have an application or script send data into that template and create the text file, or multiple files as we desire. The way I think about templates is you have a set of data that goes into something that generates stuff. Okay, cool. How about some examples? So pretty common uses with Ansible, with Ginger templates. Here we have some config templated for a Flask application. Again, this isn't just a Python thing. Here is how it would look in a Puppet template. Puppet is a previous configuration stuff that I used. Deep down, I'm actually a Bash programmer, so you could do this. I'd recommend something like the previous two examples, though. If you're interested in seeing this working, come talk to me after. So you might be thinking, wow, templating seems really cool and all, but what I'd really like to hear is your opinions, if you insist. So, in my experience, I've observed that rather than using templates, some people have opted to manage and automate configuration using something more of a file line replacement, using pattern matching. I don't really like this because it creates a problem with visibility and consistency. The visibility problem is that it's not easy or intuitive to visualize where the changes are being made. Yes, you can have a diff, but realistically, the changes can get lost in a bunch of noise that isn't easy to sift through. Additionally, you end up with configuration scripts that end up way longer than they should be, making it even harder to piece together what is actually going on. And because the changes are being made based on patterns, it might not always work, leading to a lack of consistency. It seems to me that templating is the obvious and correct way of doing things, but in my experience, it's not something that I've seen done enough. So why don't people love templating as much as I do? Well, I guess doing the file line things means you only have to understand the bit you're changing. You can work step by step doing the things that will get you the end result. Whereas with templating, you kind of have to have some kind of understanding of what is going on and have an idea of what the finished project needs to look like. Gaining understanding isn't a bad thing, though. It's an investment. It takes effort. The more you do it, the better you are at getting at it. When you understand one thing, it makes understanding something else way easier. If there are similarities that you can tie between them. In my experience, I've found that some people tend to avoid gaining understanding of the wider context and just focus on what they need to change to get the job done. And to reference yesterday's keynote, doing what is needed to just pass the test. Now, maybe it's because it's less time-consuming. Maybe it's out of fear that you can't hold everything in your brain. Maybe I'm just strawmanning here. And maybe I'm biased because I genuinely have trouble doing anything without understanding it. Maybe that's an anxiety thing. Maybe it's my ego. Who knows? But anyway, I think the general rule holds that if you take a shortcut and do things the quick and easy way, you're going to leave out rakes for others to trip over. You're going to do yourself a disservice because you're not being challenged and you're not growing in your skills and understanding. Not saying that you have to do things the hard way, but gaining understanding is worthwhile and is key to working smarter. You might be noticing a theme here. So this is actually a talk about understanding. Think about a time when you were first learning something that you were unfamiliar with. A new programming language, a new library. Maybe just how some application structures its logs. At first, it can be hard. There's a lot of things to take in, and it's hard to work your way around how something is working. Once you become familiar with it, though, and have a better understanding, you're better able to filter out the noise and focus on the relevant parts. Gaining understanding is like building a template for a concept in your brain, creating a foundation that you can use to stand on and insert your own ideas into. Templating in some ways could be seen as an expression of or a catalyst to understanding. So how does this fit into songwriting? Let's talk about the core components of a song. To make a song, we need a melody, the main tune that we have throughout the song, time signature, rhythm, how the music flows, the beats, how it plays, the movement of the song. If it has words, then we can expect some kind of rhyme scheme. And then we need the lyrics, the words, the story being told, put that together and we have something that can be played or sung. I am simplifying things here, but this will cover what I think is important. So we have the core components of the song. Is there some way we could template one? Could we use an existing song as a template? Just have some water. Let's talk about parodies. So I want to take you back in time and talk about one of my favorite musical artists I had while growing up. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Weird Weird Al. Well, I grew up listening to many of his amazing songs, such as Living with a Hernia and another one, Rides a Bus. Say what you will about him, Weird Al is an absolute musical genius. It may be no surprise, too, that I like making parodies. Now, parodies don't just have to be funny or mock the original song or artist. In a classical music sense, these might be seen as more of a rework than anything else. That's how I tend to view these as well. Well, actually, both cases, it's really hard to resist doing something funny. Anyway, by making a parody of a song, we are using the original song as a template. The melody, time signature, rhythm, rhyme scheme can all be reused. This is our foundation. What we change is the story being told. The idea, the story, is the data that we insert into this template. We insert that data into the template, execute the generator by singing the song, and hey presto, we have a new song. So now it's time for me to take you on a journey of writing a parody in a live demo. Today we're going to be using the song Rolling Down to Old Maui as our template. Rolling Down to Old Maui is a traditional sea shanty about the crew of a whaling vessel anticipating the return to Maui after a season of whaling in the Kamchatka Sea. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think that story is particularly relatable. Maybe it would be more relatable if we were telling a story about an overworked but determined group of engineers who, among other things, were tasked with rolling out the next release of Python in a production environment. Okay, so that's the general story. We'll go with that. But let's just put that aside while we work on finalizing the template. So let's look at the melody. Or more, let's listen to the melody, starting with the verse, which goes a little like this. Okay, nice. Now this is the chorus. This is what it sounds like. Na 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 na. So you may have noticed there that with the melody, you could also hear a bit of the rhythm as well. In execution, these things go together. I like to split them out a bit because that's kind of how I think about them, or more how I feel about them. The rhythm for me, like, kind of has that kind of da 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 kind of thing going for it, which fits into a 4/4 time signature, which kind of means for every measure, the little block of music thingy that you'll see in the music notation, if there is one, there are 4 quarter notes. Those of you with musical knowledge probably know that you can fit this into a different time signature and insert polyrhythms and whatnot, but we're not going to do that. We're keeping things simple today. Okay, so we're almost there. Let's have a look at the rhyme scheme. So if we have a look at the original chorus, we can see a fairly simple pattern, where bound is rhymed with ground. And there's also the repetition of rolling down to old Maui, which is a kind of rhyming, I guess. Though arguably, the pulse falls on down in Maui, so if we really wanted, we could probably avoid copying the repetition and just rhyme on those, but I'm not going to. I could also go into the verses, but they're a little bit more complicated and we'd be here all day. But the general idea applies. So we got a template. Now it's time to insert some data into it. First, the most obvious bit, rolling out the next release. And then, just for fun, make it a little bit more gender inclusive. Woo! And the hook. Yes, I know 3.13 is out, but 3.12 is way easier to rhyme. So yay, we've got a chorus. I've got some verses for you as well, but for that, I'll need some audience participation. Yay. So I want you all to sing along with me in the chorus. I'll go first, line by line, sing after me. Rolling out the next release, me boys. Rolling out the next release, me boys. Rolling out the next release. Rolling out the next release. We won't stop now till we reach 3.12. We won't stop now till we reach 3.12. Rolling out the next release. Rolling out the next release. Nice. Now let's do the whole chorus. Ready? Let's go. Rolling out the next release, me boys. Rolling out the next release. We won't stop now till we reach 3.12. Rolling out the next release. Okay, we're going to smash it. Let's go. Point 8 front its time, and we've missed that odd line to ensure the next version's set. But we'll grind and we'll fight, staying up late at night, paying off our technical debt. 'Cause we won't stop now till we reach 3.12, and our pipeline jobs are green. And we won't have our fun till the work here is done, rolling out the next release. Rolling out the next release, me boys, rolling out the next release. We won't stop now till we reach 3.12, rolling out the next release. No time for tears, our concerns and fears, we'll leave in our abode. To get this online, we'll focus our time deploying infra code. Yes, we know we're late, we're still on 3.8, and we missed our delivery. But we don't stop now till we reach 3.12, rolling out the next release. Rolling out the next release, me boys, rolling out the next release. We won't stop now till we reach 3.12, rolling out the next release. Once more we'll try to turn the tide on our bodged environment. We work round the clock, getting asked from our boss how much of our time we spend. Some the task is carried away, no fear for that now. There's features available around for us, thank God we're 3.12. Rolling out the next release, me boys, rolling out the next release. We won't stop now till we reach 3.12, rolling out the next release. There's an endless vast list of user tasks, all us engineers injure. Fixing bugs they logged, fighting fires and prod, while we're training our interns. But even now, we're sure we're getting out, using our CI/CD. No pipelines have failed, cause our testing is nailed, rolling out the next release. Rolling out the next release, me boys, rolling out the next release. We won't stop now till we reach 3.12, rolling out the next release. Rolling out the next release, me boys, rolling out the next release. We won't stop now till we reach 3.12, rolling out the next release. Just catch my breath for a bit, eh? You should try doing this sometime, it's fun. Well, it seems those engineers probably work in a fairly toxic work environment. Full disclosure here, that's not like any representation of my job. I actually like my job, it's quite good. Maybe it's just where my creative energy ends up. So, what if we wanted to make our own templates? What if we want to make our own original songs? So, this is where I'll introduce you to my creative process, also known as what I do in the shower. So I think it's pretty common to have some of the best thoughts in the shower. For me, that generally comes in the form of new songs and hooks. Now, I can't really say how that happens, it just does. It's just like a little gift from my subconscious. It all started since I've been singing at the Shanty Club, though. I guess the whole experience has rewired my brain in some way. Maybe you should consider doing the same, getting involved and singing in a choir or something, if you want your life to be a bit more whimsically musical. So last Thursday, something came to me in the shower, and I felt it fitting to the conference. It's as if the conference gods were looking down on me. I came up with a chorus. Here's how it goes. And it's PyCon AU, PyCon AU, tell all your friends about PyCon AU. Now from you. PyCon AU, PyCon AU, tell all your friends about PyCon AU. Okay, sweet. So we've got an original chorus. Well, actually, that's quite short, and it's really more of a refrain, but you don't need to know that. Okay, but that's not really a song, is it? Where's the verse? Where's the story being told? Well, at the original time of writing this talk, I didn't have one. Or at least, I didn't want one. Because I wanted a challenge. I wanted to prove to you all that I could build a song template, and the only way to do that is to tell a story of this conference. So I created a template for the verse, which goes like this. if I can remember it. The previous song is still stuck in my head. So that's kind of like how it goes-ish. We'll see how it actually turns out. Cool. Sounds like a thing. The question is, did I succeed? Have I made a new song? Let's find out. Join me in the chorus. I'll tell you of a conference that happened in Melbourne, a place where your catered lunch might have had some lemingtons, where folks had mixed and mingled, old friends began anew. So tell all your friends about PyCon AU, and it's PyCon AU, PyCon AU. Tell all your friends about PyCon AU. It was a specialist tracks on Friday. That's when this concert start involved a talk from Tom, which I'll try to take to heart. Some practices round UIDs I'll try my best to do. So tell all your friends about PyCon AU. That's PyCon AU, PyCon AU. Tell all your friends about PyCon AU. I heard there was a robot thing some folks had brought along. It was for a live demo, oh, whatever could go wrong. The wires and stuff, it looked legit. They test and tagged it too. So tell all your friends about PyCon AU. And it's PyCon AU, PyCon AU. Tell all your friends about PyCon AU. Come Saturday, oh what a joy, the first of the main dates. Learned if I liked my database, I should not migrate. There's lots of talks of quality, they'll soon be on YouTube. So tell all your friends about PyCon AU. And it's PyCon AU, PyCon AU. Tell all your friends about PyCon AU. The experience with the lightning talks, they really did enhance. Saw Benno, he went on the stage and did a lovely dance, and learned of 3 great RPGs that sadly won't fix you. So tell all your friends about PyCon AU, and it's PyCon AU, PyCon AU. Tell all your friends about PyCon AU. So Sunday is a challenge because I'm really short on time. My talk is coming closer now. I've got less things to rhyme. I've checked my laptop with AV. My docket was no use. So tell all your friends about PyCon AU. And it's PyCon AU, PyCon AU. Tell all your friends about PyCon AU. Before lunchtime, I popped in to hear about some query plans. I learned about gin indexing and also of trigrams and problems where Django defaults to uppercase values. So tell all your friends about PyCon AU. And it's PyCon AU, PyCon AU. Tell all your friends about PyCon AU. Today we learned communities are key to your career. And don't get legal advice from any LLM. And with that, folks, I'm confident my template point is proved. Your friends about PyCon AU, and it's PyCon AU, PyCon AU. Tell all your friends about PyCon AU. So that's my talk. It's over, folks. I'm sad it has to end. This conference was excellent. I've made so many friends. So follow me on socials. I want to hear from you. And tell all your friends about PyCon AU. It's PyCon AU, PyCon AU. Tell all your friends about PyCon AU.